Hi guys, and welcome to what is going to be another pattern test drive. It's been a little while since my last video. We are now, at time of filming, 9 days away from the wedding, so it's pretty exciting stuff. I've had to move where I've filmed again because of the light coming in from different places, but hopefully this way you'll be able to see it in its full glory. So, onto the breech. Is that the right expression? So, this week I decided to make the Sunday set from cotton and chalk. I've never actually used a cotton and chalk pattern before, and it came free with a copy of Simply Sewing magazine. So you can see the girl on the front, she's wearing the dress version, made up in like I think it's like a pinstripe denim. And I just saw it in the shop and was like, oh wow, that's really cute. It's very rare that I sort of buy sewing magazines because I tend to think they're a bit samey, so I only ever really buy them if they've got something in that I really like, and this just completely took my fancy. So yeah, it's a good pattern. It's pattern number 3, comes in sizes 6 to 20, although when you look at the sizing chart on the back, it's actually divided into like small, medium, extra small and large and extra large, but it does tell you underneath what the corresponding dress sizes are. I actually originally cut a medium and sewed it all up and was stupid enough not to actually try it on until the very end, because I was like, what could go wrong? And as it goes, about 4 inches of ease could go wrong. So I've recut all my pieces to correspond with a size small now, and I managed to tweak this, which I'll discuss in a minute. So I went for the dress version. It does look like it comes in 2 lengths on the pattern packet, but it doesn't. The 2 lengths aren't marked on, it's just 1 length, and then I'm presuming they just know that you'll cut it shorter if you want to. As far as it goes for sewing, there's like 9 pieces. You do need to do some interfacing on the bib and on the straps and on the waistband. But yeah, that's it really. It's pretty simple. I don't know whether the size issue was just me, which it could have been, so let's face it, or whether there's just a lot of ease built in. I know that on the sizing chart it doesn't say whether these, to fit bust. So yeah, so my bust is a 36, so I'd have been in between a small and a medium, which I think is why I went for the medium, because I figured it's better to be a little bit big than a little bit too small. But it was so much bigger than I was expecting. But anyway, so I'll show you, I'll stand up. So I made mine in, oh my god, you can't see my head. Can you see my head now? Okay, so I made mine in a, oh god, I've lost my piece of paper now. A Liberty Stockton Burgundy cotton cord, which came from Abakhans. They were kind enough to send it to me, and it retails at about £9.95, so it's actually really reasonable for a Liberty print. I've never been a massive fan of Liberty, and I sort of picked, I was looking at the website and they'd offered to send me the fabric, and I was quite excited because it's always nice when people are like, would you like some fabric? And you're like, yes I would, that's an amazing thing, please, yes. And then they were like, would you like some Liberty? And I was like, yay. I looked on the website and I was like, So I just kind of picked which one I liked best, but it wasn't anything I'd have picked had I kind of, yeah. So, and then it arrived and I was like, oh, because when the picture on the website is like you can see that it's the same, but in real life it just looks so much more. Well, it just looks so much more, and it's so beautifully soft. I mean, the only way that I can really describe it is like you know when like you go to feed a pony a carrot, and it's got like a really soft nose. That is what this feels like. So yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised when it arrived, and I actually quite liked it. So yeah, it's a full circle skirt with a zip back and then a button tab. These are, and then yeah, a zip, and then there's like a button tab, and then these are your other buttons. Mine aren't functional because my straps ended up being about this much too long, so I had to completely trim them down. This is after I'd done all my top stitching. So mine are just stitched directly to this, and then a button has been sewed on. It's got a nice pocket at the front, which you can't really see because of the print of my fabric, unless you get like right up close to my boobs. Did you see it? Obviously it's not like a functional pocket because it's quite small. If you put something heavy in it, it's just going to do that to you. But I did find when I went to Tesco and I was getting out of the car, I could put my card in it and my car key in it quite happily, and they just sort of sat there and we're all like, yay! I hemmed mine by hand. It's got pockets. I don't know why I always find that so exciting. When somebody says to me like, oh, did you make that? And I'm like, yeah, it has pockets. That's like my first thing is always, it has pockets. Always. I don't actually use the pockets because I'm always worried it's going to pull the dress out of shape, but I always think it's quite nice to have somewhere to put your hands. It crosses over at the back. I'm currently wearing it with another dress that I've made. I've got a very thin knit dress underneath and then this on top. But I did wear it. I've had trouble styling it, to be honest. It's quite difficult because I think it's such a busy print. You do need something plain underneath. And I must have tried on about every single top I owned. I was hoping my sheer like pussy bow blouse would work with it, but I just look like a librarian. So yeah, I've tried it with a couple of different things. So I'm wearing it with this today, which I think is my favourite, and it's really warm as well. Walking to school in the morning, layers are key. But on Saturday we went to a birthday party for one of the little girls at Marcus's school, and I wore it with one of Ricky's shirts, so just like a white shirt and tights and shoes. And a couple of the mums said it looked really nice because I was a bit unsure of it at that point because the print's quite out of my comfort zone, and I don't know, I was worried I looked a bit like an overgrown child. So yeah, but I think I'm on board with it. Now I've got it on with this, I'm on board with it, and it is really warm and lovely, probably because it's cord as well. But yeah, it's got pockets. But they asked me at the place, they were like, did you make that? And I was like, yeah, it's got pockets. And I demonstrated that you could actually fit a hand in a pocket. I didn't allow them to put their hands in my pockets because that would have been weird, but you know. Yeah. Instructions wise, they are the same sort of format as the Big Four instructions with like the rows. I'd actually say they're pretty clear, and the diagrams are pretty clear. The only thing that really threw me a bit was they mentioned something about leaving the pockets free, and I couldn't quite work that out, but yeah, my pockets have gone in okay, so, and I don't think I left them free, but yeah, they turned out pretty nicely, so I was pleased with that. Yeah, it's all pretty simple. They have you put the zip in right at the beginning, which I think is quite nice actually, as opposed to like sewing for hours and hours and then being like, oh god, and now I've got to put a zip in. Like your first 5 minutes, you're like, boom, zip, done. The only thing I'd say is you do need to keep fitting because there's quite a lot of top stitching. The straps have got top stitching, this has got top stitching, the bib's got top stitching, the waistband has top stitching. You do need to keep trying it on. I had two instances where things went wrong. The first was when I'd sewn one of these on the wrong way, so both of my straps went like that as opposed to going like that. So I had to unpick one out of the waistband and then like stitch it back in, which wasn't too bad. You can't see it, but it was annoying to have to do it. I had three instances actually, and then the other one was when these were too long, which I'd have known if I'd have like tried it on a bit better and then sort of and then sewn everything afterwards, because I could have shortened the straps. And the other one was when this was like out here. It must have been 2 inches too big on either side. I'm pretty sure I took it by about 2 inches. And yeah, what I did for that originally was I got a wide piece of elastic and just stretched it around and like gathered it in, like you would do on a pair of kids' trousers. And it just looked really messy. Like, it was on the mannequin, and one of our friends come over and was like, "It's nice, but it looks too big." And I was like, "It is." So then in the end I just ripped it up the back seam. Not ripped it, but like seam ripped it up the back seam. And then took 2 inches off either side at the bottom, avoiding the waistband, and stitched it up, put the zip back in, and then sort of hid any raw edges with some hand stitching. It's turned out quite nicely. The only trouble with it is it means that my zip is central, but my button is to one side. Because I didn't want to have to redo the buttonhole. My buttonholes did go in first time though, so that's always exciting when they go in straight away. I don't really know what else to say about it. I love it. I think I'm sold. It's quite nice to have one that's a bit more, it's quite a busy fabric and it's quite different, but I think I'm sort of on board with that now. I wasn't in the beginning, but now I'm like, do you know what, I'm down with this. I'm liking this fabric, it's interesting. I might even now be a bit of a liberty convert. I was looking at the cotton lawns a couple of days ago and I was like, gosh, that would make a nice blouse. And I never look at them ever, because I'm just like, old lady fabrics. I'm a bit of an old lady then. I mean, I do spend my evenings knitting, so yeah, it was brilliant. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. I am going to make another one. I would love to make it in a denim chambray. I think it would be so lush. I think just something really simple that you can just wear with t-shirts and jeans, not jeans. Why would I say jeans? Just t-shirts and shirts and blouses and just something that'll just go with everything. So just like a nice denim chambray, I think would be so cute in this. I'm also going to use the bib part and hack it. Well, not hack it, but I'm going to hack it together with the Delphine skirt from Tilly and the Buttons Love at First Stitch, because I think that would make a really cute little dungarees dress. But like more of an A-line one. I'm going to use just the skirt pattern for just any time I need a circle skirt now, as opposed to cutting one out the way that I normally do, which leaves me with quite a short one. I'm going to start using this one, and then I can have the pockets. Yeah, I just sort of love it. I've got quite a bit of the Liberty fabric left, and I don't know whether to make something else for myself, or I'm wondering if it would be really, really crazy to make my little goddaughter a pair of Liberty dungarees. But they grow so fast. This is what's putting me off, is they grow really, really fast, like children. Like, they grow. Like, all the time. It's like constant. They never stop. And I think I'd cry if she only got like a week's worth of wear out of them, because it's a lot of top stitching. So, yeah. It might end up being a bag for me. It would make a weekend bag came with this as well. A pattern for a weekend bag came with this. I wonder if I can find it now quickly, because I do love the handbag, and I have recently gotten rid of like 9 different handbags because they were just... Oh, that's the trouser version, if anybody was wondering how it's made up. That I'm not as keen on. I think it looks a bit like a romper suit, but I can see why some people would like it. It's kind of cute. I suppose. I don't know if I'd wear it though. There we go. This is the bag pattern that came with it. So I'm wondering if that would be cute made up in the rest of this fabric. Maybe with like some leather details to like bring it a bit more, make it a bit more modern with some leather details, because I've got some brown faux leather somewhere. Planning my next make. So yeah, my first experience with a cotton and chalk pattern. It's number 3. I liked it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's nice to see something that's a bit more up to date, that isn't a darted bodice with a gathered skirt or a princess theme bodice with a gathered skirt coming in a sewing pattern. It coming in with a sewing magazine. So it was nice to see something that's a bit more advanced, I suppose. Although it is really simple. I think somebody had been sewing somebody had made a couple of skirts and maybe a couple of tops and was fairly confident, and like a confident beginner who got a couple of projects under the belt, I think would have no trouble with this. Obviously, I mean, the recommended fabrics are cotton, denim, rayon and challis. Challis? Is that how you say it? Challis? And I used cord. It's like a cotton cord. So yeah, I think if you were a pretty confident beginner, you wouldn't have any trouble. The only thing you'd have to watch out for would be directional prints, because it's cut, the skirt's cut on the cross grain. But other than that, I think, yeah, I would say this pattern is suitable for a confident to advanced beginner. And to be honest, I'm going to give the pattern an 8 out of 10. I'd give it a 9, but I do think there's maybe a little bit too much ease built in. Maybe. It could just be me. Maybe I should give it a 9. I'll give it an 8.5. Because it could be me, but it could be the pattern. Yeah. So I'm very, very pleased with it. I'll give you one last twirl. And I can twirl in it because I've got another dress on underneath, so nobody's going to see my knickers. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed that, please hit like or subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Probably after a